everybody, and welcome to another episode of Turn It Up. Today, we're going to do a little Bigfoot and bass talk. Yes, sir, I have another story. Somebody was delightful enough to share with me, and I would like to share it with all of you. Yay, how about that? So, this story is from an elderly couple I've known for a really long time. They have gotten with me and they decided that they watched my video, and I appreciate y'all watching my video. Thank you. And he said he would share my story so I could share it with y'all, and I am really glad. So just to get down to it, it is a Bigfoot sighting story. All right, so it's this couple were leaving her relative's house in Alabama, and they're cutting through Lawrenceburg, and they decided to take the natural trace on back home. And just to set the mood, those of you who don't know Natchez Trace is one of the most beautiful drives you'll ever take. It's gorgeous, nothing but country road. It is wildlife infested. You'll see every kind of wildlife on that road. Beautiful drive. I recommend anybody taking it. If you take it slow. And I'll get into that in this story. He said they're driving back, and it's fall. And he said they're driving back from their family's house. They just had Thanksgiving there, and they were driving back. And he said, we're taking Natchez Trace, and we're just going to cut through and go straight on home. They said they're getting down the road a pretty good piece, and deer after deer after deer is coming across the road. He said, I'm just crawling along 35 to 40. I speed it up to 40. I'd slow it back down to 30. I'd speed it up to 40. Another deer. He said, it is what it is. I had nowhere to go. And he said, it's done gotten dark, so I'm nervous about it. He goes, you look, and the leaves have fallen off. And he said, you could see up in the woods a good piece, so I knew when they were coming. But he said, I just took it slow. And he said, he's driving on through. They'd been on it a couple hours, about an hour and a half, they said. Anyways, they'd gotten through, and they'd gotten right to Fall Hollow, where I don't know if you know Natchez Trace, but there's a road sign that takes you to Fall Hollow off of Natchez Trace, and it's where they got all these little waterfalls and stuff. But there's nothing around it. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. And he said he's driving, and he goes around the two big S curves, and he said he gets out to where that bridge is, and just as he crosses the bridge, there it is. He said it's standing in the middle of the road, and he said it's got a deer under its hand, dragging it by the leg. He said, this deer's dead, and you could tell it's dead. And he said, and I am completely frozen stiff. And all she says is, oh my God. And he said, I'm just petrified looking at the window. He said, Ben, and let me explain something to you. This guy is a massive man. They call him bear paw. His hands are so big they're like bear paws. He's a massive man. I don't see this guy being afraid of very much in his life. He's about 6'3", maybe 250, 260 then, maybe pushing 300 now, but he's always been a big man his whole life. A big man, too. I mean, a big man. And he said, I'm petrified. He said, I'm grabbing my steering wheel. And he said, I'm not sure if I should hit reverse, if I should go forward. what I should do. He said, I'm just petrified. And he goes, about that time, he goes, I'm looking at it. It's looking right in my headlights, and I'm looking at it. And he said, it lets out a devastating howl. He said, Ben, I've never heard anything like this. He said every hair on my body was standing on edge, and he said, I joke you not, I was just a step away from crying. She is crying. She's petrified. She's crying. And he said, she's got me by the arm, and he said, I couldn't feel it, but later on there was bruises on my arm where she was grabbing my arm so tight. He said, in an instant, it turned, in 3 steps, it was into the woods. It was gone, just like that. He said, in a flash, it was gone. He said, nothing. He said, I stayed there petrified for, I know, at least 5 minutes. He goes, it's dark. He said, there's nothing around, and I'm just sitting there. He goes, I haven't passed a car in over 30 minutes. He said, I haven't seen anybody on this road. He said, and I don't know what I'd do if I did see them. He goes, the most petrified I've ever been in my life. Nothing has ever scared me like that or will scare me again like that unless I see that again. He goes, finally, I've settled down enough. I put it in drive, and I hit on down the road. And he goes, Ben, when I say I hit the gas and I didn't let out till I got home. He said, I drove all the way home as fast as I could. When I pulled in that driveway, I freaking got out. I went in my house. I loaded my gun, put it beside my bed. I locked every door in our house. We were that scared. He said, months go by. I finally start talking about it with a few of my friends, and they laugh. And I can't imagine anybody laughing at this guy. This guy's a massive man. I wouldn't laugh at him. I'd be like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, finally, I just got to where I quit telling it. He said, he goes, it seemed to be like everybody didn't want to hear it or thought it was a joke. He said, but that's my story, Ben. He goes, it's short and sweet. He goes, there ain't a whole lot to it other than that, and I know what I saw. And I turned to her and I asked her, I go, would you like to tell your side of it? And she goes, it was a bear. And he goes, Ben, I've seen bears. I've been up close to bears before. This was no bear. And I went, well, would you like to tell your story about it being a bear? And she goes, no. And I went, is there a reason? And she went, if you talk about it, it'll come back. And I was like, well, that's fair enough. I understand that. But once again, he talked to me about it, and we talked about other things and stuff. But he's like, share it. And I was like, well, okay, I will. He's like, he goes, I just want somebody, if somebody else seen the same thing I did, I don't want them to feel like they're going through their life feeling like they're crazy. He goes, because it's bad to see something like that and not be able to talk about it. And I was like, well, I got you, man. I understand. And like I've said before, I don't take this as a joke in any way, any shape, any form. When I report it, I try to report it serious. My own experience, I like to make light of it because it makes me feel better. Guys, everything out there happens for a reason. Whether you believe this or not is not it. It's an interesting story, and take it for the entertainment value of it. And if you have a story and you'd like me to talk about it on here, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. I also continue to talk about bass, guitar, my love and my passion. You see my drum video. Thank you all for watching that. I'll talk about music. I'll talk about everything. I'll talk about the Lord Jesus Christ, because without him there is no other way. I'll say that and I'll say it again. because that's my conviction in my heart. Just remember, no matter what, don't get caught up in the religious part of it. Just know that Jesus came here because he loves you that much that he was willing to die for you. And that's all I'm going to say on that. If you don't do anything else this week, turn it up. And turn it up right.